Welcome to this week's Down Home with Tina. I'm your host, Tina Thompson. This week's guest I have with me is the owner of Ava Jewelers. Her name is Ava Edmonds. And before we get to finding out what she's been up to the last few months, which there's been times I'm sure she's not been up to a whole lot, but we're going to get into that and find out a whole lot about Ava Jewelers, which is located in downtown Lancaster, a great place. I know I'm a customer myself, but before I get to that, before we got started, I kind of shared a little bit with Ava about what I had recently done. And when I do these things, one of my dearest friends, she's going to be on next week's show. She says, that is such a Tina moment. And I go, yes, it is such a Tina moment. So it was a few nights ago. And you guys, I think it was because of during COVID, I was in a desperate situation where I needed to get my hair colored. So, and I used to color my own hair, but in recent years, I go to a hairstylist and I love her. But I was kind of desperate because I needed a new driver's license, and so I needed to make sure that my hair was colored, and I was running out of time and things like that. So I decided to go and get the box. She's going to kill me, my hairstylist. But anyways, I did that. But I'm going to learn my lesson on this because I had a whole lot going on. I had just moved into a new house. And so I've got all this stuff from another house into this house. And I had people coming because I'm gonna have really cool stories I'm hoping to share because they're coming from Western New York on bicycles all the way through Cleveland down to Cincinnati, but they're gonna stop in and visit me for a night. So I'm really excited about that, but at the same time, new place. So I wanna get to Ava, so I'm trying to make this short. I decided to color my hair on my own. And I'm vacuuming and I'm sweeping as it's processing. And so, picture this, I've got it all in color up in a clip on the top of my head. And for some reason, I thought I would go out and vacuum the mudroom. I usually just sweep the little rug out there because it's like an indoor-outdoor rug. So I decided to vacuum it. And I shut the door behind me. I locked myself out of the house, full color on my hair. And I have to say, because I feel like that I am a problem solver, that I don't panic usually right away. I'm thinking, I've got an entire garage of stuff, like tools and everything. I have the mudroom that's got stuff. I've got things I'm giving away. I can figure this out. No, I got to a point where I started getting really warm. The good thing is that I had my phone timer and I had my Bose speaker on with music playing, and my phone timer was on for my hair. So I knew that when it went off, it's got to come out of my head. But I really, for the first time, Ava, I actually stood there at the door and I go, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do. I've never done it like that. So I decide I'm going to go out to get my hose. Just bought a hose recently for the house. Went out, picture me standing in the back of my yard and I'm spraying with the hose this collar because I now have to go to my neighbor's house to call my daughter to bring a key for me to get in the house. So I do this. I find this little rag that I've washed the car with, but I have thrown it in the washer before, like that So I dry it, I try to squeeze it, and I put it back up in this clip, and I go over and I knock on the door, and she's got two small kids. This is why I knew I had to wash it out. I would have scared them. They would have thought crazy new neighbor lady. And she laughs. She's a young girl. She's got to be in her mid-20s. And I locked myself out of the house and I have color in my hair. Can I please use your phone? And I could tell she probably wanted to crack up laughing, but she was trying to be polite. I should have just said, just go for it. Just crack up laughing because this is so ridiculous. Lo and behold, my daughter ended up showing up and letting me in the house. I sat in the mudroom for about 20 minutes. You know what I think it taught me, Ava? Is I was doing so many things that I really needed to slow down and take a break, and I was forced to take a break. So I just sat in the mudroom and I listened to the music. The timer went off too for like 5 minutes on my phone for my hair color. And I said, this is going to be all right. I just needed to just take a break with everything I had going on. So that was my lesson in that. But Ava is with me, and I'm so excited to have you on to tell me about everything. I'm sure that you guys had that time during COVID where, of course, you were completely closed down, right?
Yes, 2 months.
2 months.
Yeah.
How did that affect you guys as a custom jewelry store?
We probably lost business. Definitely we lost business, but I didn't feel alone in it, so it wasn't as awful. It wasn't awful.
Good.
Because I enjoyed the time off. It was kind of that slow down moment you're talking about.
Yeah.
It totally reminded me of when life used to feel like that when I was younger. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the pause.
Yeah.
Long pause.
Yeah. Well, and for you all, I think that you are in the business that, first of all, I don't know of a whole lot of custom jewelry stores in the area. And also, you do repairs. So it's really folks would just have to wait a little longer in order to give you a call.
In-house jewelry repairs, which is, we're really fortunate to have an amazing goldsmith. She studied and learned, apprenticed through Jared's, and she was there for several years, and then wanted to change her lifestyle, wanted it to be easier and simpler and kinder to her sense of time. And so she joined us, and we're happy. She's happy, I'm happy, and we get to provide an excellent service for our customers.
And I have an experience in that because my daughter was given a necklace. My daughter was named after my grandmother, who was very dear to me, and so they, of course, have the same first initial. And so I had a necklace, and I actually called you guys up, and I stopped in, and she checked it out, and because I wasn't quite sure, I didn't think it was pure gold or 10 karat gold or any of that it was gold plated. And I said, how can we fix this? And I love the honesty, because she said it could mess it up if we try to shine it up, or it could make it, duller or tarnish more. And to try to do anything else to it could ruin it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, in some cases that's true.
Yeah. But she knew. She knew right away what type of jewelry
it was.
Metal. Yes.
Yeah. There are some that can be replated, but there's a lot that really, you just have to let it be worn and let it be, wear it until it's not wearable.
That's right. It's antique, because it is this point. It is an antique.
I keep a lot of my favorite memorable pieces of jewelry in a jewelry box that I don't wear, but every once in a while I go back, and it's, you just remember those events where you received them and the people you were connected with.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, jewelry does that for a lot of us.
You said that so beautifully, and I'd never even thought of it that way before. Yeah, just because you aren't wearing it doesn't mean that it doesn't still have meaning to it.
Oh, yeah,
and it
absolutely.
brings that memory back when you take a look at it. Oh, that's like, give me goosebumps. Oh. But let's talk a little bit about the type of jewelry that you do have in the store for folks.
Well, we have a lot of, gift type items and unique classic looks, handmade, a lot of it, inlaid stones, something a little blingy for those, and some earthy jewelry for ethnic jewelries that are sophisticated and tasteful. And then, of course, we do create a lot of our own gold inventory. Lately, we've been putting more and more things in. We're very excited about products now that really offer expensive looks for less dollars, because natural sapphires are crazy expensive. They're crazy expensive, and most people don't realize that most of the sapphires you see are treated, or doublets or diffusion treated.
Can you look at a sapphire and be able to tell? And maybe, I don't know if this is the same with emeralds as well, or rather it is natural.
We can tell.
Or not.
Yeah, we can tell. And then emeralds, of course, just as a stone, are becoming less available in the high qualities that we used to see when my dad was a jeweler. So, emeralds, you can still get good quality, but there are other options that we're always happy to.
The good quality emeralds, the natural ones, do they have sometimes a fleck of something in them?
Oh, they almost always do.
But that's the natural.
That's natural. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's very normal.
Yeah.
And then in sapphires, you'll see zoning, where the colors will shift and change within the stone, and that's really normal.
Okay.
For
the
natural
stones.
The
natural stones.
Right.
Yeah. So hold on to those. Do you recommend for folks?
Well, just bring them in, and we'll value them for you for today's market, because a lot of those stones, those precious stones, tend to value up, especially rubies in larger sizes. Do value up pretty significantly over time, quicker even than the diamonds in the diamond market, because diamonds are more available than those stones.
In my own relationship, I know that we came in and I was able to stand with you, and it's nice to make an appointment, and learn about what I'm going to purchase for myself and with the budget that I had. And I love that because it really gave folks an expectation on what they can afford or cannot afford.
Yeah, we're not about, we are about transparency. We are about educating. We want people to understand what creates value in a piece of jewelry.
Yes.
And high dollar ticket does not automatically equal value over time or rarity. So I do like spending time with my customers.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great way to get to know them as well and what their needs are. Yeah, absolutely. So make an appointment with you, correct, is what folks need to do?
It's a great way to do like more personal custom work because we do a lot of engagement rings. A lot of people get handed down things from their parents or their grandparents, and we help them find that mounting. We can make modifications to mountings. We can change metal colors. We can bring costs down by using other types of stones. And we certainly will go over all of that with you to help you find that ring that's gonna, and then of course, customizing, people just wanting to revamp and change things up.
Yeah.
People are inheriting a lot of things right now because we're boomers. And they're getting a lot of things that they, big giant gold pieces, which they don't wear, usually yellow gold, and they want something more clean, contemporary, and white gold, so we help them with that.
Nice. Favorite down-home moment before we go, Ava?
You really, that was a tough question. I was thinking about it for the past hour, and what I realized is that it's not a big moment. It's that time that David and I spend walking from our home and taking a trip through Rising Park. Is the most calming. I feel like I can get a breath. I'm in the trees and the wind is blowing. So that's probably the best time of the day is when we do that.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Your Facebook and your website.
Custom Design in LancasterOhio.com, or Lancaster, Ohio is our web page. And if you just type in Ava Jewelers, that'll come up.
Okay.
As a link. And what was the other question?
Facebook?
Yeah, we have a Facebook page, and we post a few times a week, new things and great engagement pictures. We had one last week that I just loved. Okay. It was so exciting, and I was so happy they let us post it. It was a really good picture.
Good.
She was so happy.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Those are great
picture.
stories and great memories that you get to have with folks in the community. Folks, check out Ava Jewelers online. Stop at the store. Location is what, Ava?
111 North Broad Street.
Yep.
Right behind the Vets Memorial Park.
Yes, perfect. Thank you so much for being with me. Ava will be back another time, or I'm sure I'll talk about her. And again, I'll be back. It's Down Home with Tina.
Hi, I'm Brandon. I'm a recovering addict. For 10 of the last 11 years, I've been struggling with addiction, homelessness, incarceration, and just loneliness. However, since getting clean this past year, I've accomplished more than I have in those 10 years combined. After attending outpatient counseling services, inpatient counseling services, living in a sober living house, and attending 12-step meetings, I've been able to regain control of my life and begin to achieve goals I've always dreamed of. Addiction can destroy lives in many ways. Whether you need help with childcare or financial assistance, everyone deserves a new beginning. Recovery supports are just that, supports for recovery. My life mattered. Your life matters too.
This message is brought to you by the Fairfield County Adam H. Board.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina. I have Becky Schaade with me. She is the executive director of one of my very favorite places in Lancaster, the Fairfield County District Library. Becky, this is my first time, isn't it?
Yeah, I haven't been on your show before.
Yeah, so, and I mean, ever, like radio or anything. I don't
think so. I don't know. They all kind of run together a little bit, but yeah, we've worked on some projects together though, so we know each other from that.
Absolutely, yes. And I know that Becky is a treat, and so is the Fairfield County District Library. As I just said, it is one of my favorite places to go. I have to tell you, I am moving and I have loaded up. Oh, I'm not joking. Boxes of books after books after books, and I think I probably have $1,000 or more because I purchased these as new books that I may have read once for myself or a few times to my kids. They have a few favorites, when they were younger, but the library is a place where I now like to go because I have stacks and stacks and stacks that I don't know what I'm going to do with, Becky.
It is all of my friends who have ever helped me move have always said that to me. Like, how many books do you need? You work at the library. Well, these are important to me, so this is the bare minimum, guys.
And I know we've got a lot to talk about, but I did want to just say something. I had a gal I saw on Facebook say, I have some stacks of different books that I would like to give to folks, but I may need to use them before I pass on, is what she said. And I thought, you know what? Put in those stacks of who you want it to go to, give it to them, write down maybe in an Excel spreadsheet. If you have one of them, Google or look for it, seek it, find it through your page format, and then call them up. I'm sure they'll let you borrow it if you really want to get rid of the books, that bad. And then you would only have a handful maybe when the time comes.
Right. I should say that right now we are not accepting donations. Just because of part of kind of everything we've been doing. We don't have space to store them, to quarantine them right now. Normally though, we are happy to accept those, and that we'll get back to that at some point.
And you've just reopened.
Yes, that is correct. So July 7th was our first day reopened to the public, so for in-person service. We've been doing curbside pickup for about 2 months now, and this was really our first week where customers could come into the building.
Yes.
Of course, things look a little bit different. We have some different procedures in place, but we are excited to get back to serving customers in kind of a more normal way, for sure.
Right, absolutely. So with you just mentioning a minute or so ago about not taking books in, you do have a whole lot of different safety measures you've taken.
We do. Like a lot of organizations, we've really had to take a look at kind of everything we do and kind of rewrite that in some ways for our new normal. I hate that phrase. Everybody's using it, I know. Some things for customers to be aware of that people might like to know. Number one is that we are still continuing curbside pickup. So if someone is uncomfortable with coming in the building, if you are isolating, maybe you have a health condition, maybe you have someone in your family who's high risk, we are doing contactless curbside pickup at all 5 library locations, and we are continuing to do that even while we offer in-person service. So first off, know that. You'll have access to materials in that way. You just put the items on hold. When you receive your notification that they're available, go to the library where they are, give us a call. A staff member will bring them out to you already checked out.
How are you doing things when it comes to folks who are turning in their materials?
Sure. So libraries are different than a lot of organizations or a lot of businesses in that we take returns all the time. That's just a real integral part of our business. We have been lucky that there has been some research from the Battelle Institute in Columbus. They worked with the Columbus Metropolitan Library to do research specifically on library materials. How long does COVID-19 survive on library materials? So we have really good research that's just come out in the last few weeks. I mean, it's very new. That after 3 days, there is no virus detectable inside the pages of a book, for example.
Perfect.
After 1 day, there's nothing detectable on the covers of books, DVDs, that kind of thing. So with that in mind, we are quarantining all returned items for at least 72 hours before staff members are handling them.
Great.
So we're asking that customers return those through book drops. So you're not able to hand those to a staff member, for example, but you can put them in in a book drop. We've purchased wheeled bins so that our staff is not touching those materials to unload the book drops. We're just letting them sit because time is a great sanitizer in this case.
Right.
And so the last thing we would want to do is be, a source of infection in our community. Oh my goodness, never.
Right.
So we are isolating all return materials for 72 hours. So you're going to notice them on your account for longer.
Okay.
Normally if you drop something off, we check it in, just that day.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a little bit longer. There are no fines. We went fine-free last September. So no one has to worry about, am I going to get an additional fine from this?
Right.
We don't have fines anymore, so you don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
But you will see those items on your account for a longer period of time. After that quarantine period, staff will check them in and they will come off your account.
What my concern is somebody taking one of your books, and because we do our sanitizing our hands all the time.
Yep.
But what about them wanting to sanitize the books themselves? What damage could that do to your books?
Right. So you have to be very careful. Obviously, some things mix better with cleaning products than others. I've even heard, how internet rumors get started of people microwaving books to be able to see. That is not recommended for the book or your microwave, quite frankly.
Right.
So you could, if it's got like a plastic cover and you wanted to wipe that down, that would be fine. In most cases, that wouldn't hurt the material. If you were concerned too, you could leave that item to sit at your house for 72 hours and just not, or, hand wash afterwards, that kind of thing. So there's a few things people can do to kind of mitigate that risk to themselves.
You could use gloves. If
Oh,
you
yeah,
really wanted
absolutely.
to be careful enough
Sure,
and they're
yeah.
not making you too warm or hot.
Yeah,
Like gloves.
yeah,
I'm like, oh my
absolutely.
goodness.
You could
Yeah.
do that. Wash your hands afterwards. I mean, there's lots of things you could do.
But for the most part, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you've alady taken those measures. and
Right,
making sure that
exactly.
they are
If it has been
72 hours, if
returned
not,
from a
yeah.
customer, it has been quarantined for at least 72 hours, every single item.
So many things. I know I could go on and on probably for an entire hour just to talk about the library again because I love it so much. But I wanted to ask you about your online services,
Sure.
Becky.
So that's been a real blessing during this entire time period. Even when the library's physical buildings were closed, we were able to serve customers through our digital resources. You can get a library card online. You can get a digital services card. We've signed up about 300 people for cards just during the pandemic.
I'm not surprised, really, but
which has been great. And you can download free ebooks, e-audiobooks. We have streaming music and movies. All of it is accessible with your library card for free. It's an amazing resource. I can't tell you the number of people who say, I had no idea that I could get this for free. So definitely consider that. If you already have a library card, that's a wonderful resource to use. If you don't have one, you can come in to our in-person, now that we're open, you can come in person and sign up, but you can also sign up online for a digital library card, and that'll allow you to access all of our digital materials very easily.
what is Lattes with Librarians?
Oh my goodness. So because, this summer looks a lot different at the library, we usually have a lot of great programs for kids, teens, and adults. And of course, this summer we can't congregate together, so no in-person programming. So my staff has done a wonderful job at kind of brainstorming different ideas they can do with online programming. So two of my librarians, Allison Moore and Leah Kerrigan, have started doing a weekly, I'm going to say talk show for lack of a better word. And they're talking about new books, things that are happening at the library, talking about our resources, of course. But they're funny, and you can see it on Facebook Live. People can chime in through the comments, and they see those live as well, so they'll respond to you. I think it's the kind of thing we would have never done or never even thought to do, and it's been really well received. It's been really good. So the kind of a little silver lining for us. Yeah, Fridays at 10:30. I should say that's when that's been going live, so you can see that there. The recording does last, I think, for 24 hours. So if you miss the live version, you can watch the recorded version. Allison is our technical services librarian, so she sees every single new item that the library purchases. So she always has a lot of knowledge of new books.
Anything inside the library, has it changed or moved?
Sure. Yeah, for sure. We have a lot more sanitizer available. We have removed a lot of furniture in order to comply with social distancing. We have at 3 of our locations early literacy centers that have games and activities for small children. Those have been removed for the time being, which, trust me, is heartbreaking for me. But it's the thing, it's what we need to do for right now to be safe, and it's all in storage. It will all come back someday. So we've removed about half of the computers because in order to create space between users. So we have, just limited some things, so it is going to look a little different, but you're able to still get that same kind of service. You're still going to be able to use a computer, use internet, look up a book, that kind of thing.
The hours, are they the same?
They are not. We've also modified our hours. All library locations, so across our entire system, are going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 10 to 6, Friday, Saturday from 10 to 2, closed on Sundays and Mondays.
All right.
So check our website for more information, fcdlibrary.org. Always a great place to get up-to-date information, or give us a call.
All right, really quickly, do you have a favorite down-home moment? I usually ask my guests beforehand of anything that just is fun that you can remember when you were a kid or as an adult.
You know what I would love to share? So when I was a kiddo, my grandparents had red raspberry bushes, and one of my favorite things to do was go out and pick these red raspberries and have them for breakfast with milk and sugar on top of them. And it was a great memory. And I'll tell you, this summer is the first time I've grown red raspberries, and I've had a very small handful at my house. But you know what? They taste just like my grandparents' houses did.
That is awesome. What a great memory. I love that you shared that with me. Becky Schaade, she is Executive Director of the Fairfield County District Library. fcdlibrary.org, I believe, is correct because I'm there often enough. Check it out, folks. I'll be right back with Down Home with Tina.
Dagger Law has been part of the Lancaster community for more than 110 years. This is where we live and work. You'll see us at festivals, sporting events, and all around town. We consider our clients as friends, and we walk alongside you through challenging times. Whether you're a growing business, a changing family, facing litigation, planning your future, or dealing with land issues, we're right here. We are local. We are trusted. We are experienced. Dagger Law.
Fairfield Federal. When it comes to our customers and our community, we go above and beyond to help. Our people make the difference.
We were retiring from Tucson, Arizona, and we made a retirement trip out around Ohio, having decided that's where we wanted to be. And we came across this town called Lancaster, and we fell in love with the downtown area where the fountain is and the memorials and the flags and all the stuff. And we looked around and I said, there's our bank right there.
There's something to be said about a community bank in your hometown.
Right. If you live in the community, you should do business in the community as much as possible. So it makes sense to bank with the community bank where you live.
Fairfield Federal is the bank to be at. If you live in this town, or any town actually, you want to bank at a local home bank. The employees are happy here, they're conversant, customer service is through the roof. There's nothing more you could ask for.
Personal or business banking, whatever you need, we take it seriously because we know you do. Stop by today at any of our 3 locations and see why the difference is clear. Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan specializes in banking that revolves around you.
Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Hey everybody, the show is just about a wrap. It's Down Home with Tina. My Down Home with Tina tip, if I ever get to where I don't have the time to share with you about a tip, I would like for you to anyways go to my website, downhomewithtina.com. But this week's tip, super easy, super quick. A lot of people like to make hard-boiled eggs. So one of my favorite pieces of advice to give you about that is if you want your eggs to peel easily, you boil your water until it's a very good rapid boil, and then you take tongs and you put your cold eggs out of the carton into the water boil for 15 minutes, and guarantee you are not going to have a problem at all when it comes to peeling your eggs. That is one of my favorite down-home tips to give you. I was so excited to share it with you. And every time I do, the people who do it, they go, oh my goodness, I wish I'd have known that years ago. I said, yeah, I said the same thing. And so it's almost enjoyable now to peel eggs. Hey, keep on watching. Thanks so much. God bless everybody. Have a great week. Good day.